Aloha guys, this is the Ala Moana Shopping Center. What a nice thing to be here. Hopping down. And I am here to share with you 10 fun ideas relating to managing money, being conscious of your money. And part of it has to do with seeing what you really like in life. Realizing that yes, you should spend money on certain things and it's worthwhile, but you have to decide what exactly that is. And sometimes, obviously, there are different priorities, different options, right, in life. However, we can make choices. And so everyone needs to do that. That's number one. You know, the idea of money is first about, okay, what do you want to spend on? The second is, what exactly do you need to do your work? That's number two. So that's related to, okay, the fun goal of, because that's why people live. People don't live necessarily to have children, although obviously that's an expenditure. People live in order to do fun stuff. So you have to first identify that, so you can always have that in your mind every day. You might like vacations, in which case every day or every week you might be looking at potential destinations, even if you can only afford to do it once every year. You know, you can even go online and watch virtual tours of places, and you can interact with people, obviously, on the internet from different places. So that allows you to do so much. But if you really want to actually go there, then obviously you want to get creative and decide what you're going to spend on. And then number two is, now that you've got like your excitement, your meaning of life going on, then you want to know, okay, what tools do I need in order to do the work that I need to do? So whether that's education, you know, specific clothing, actual tools for trades work, or an office, or anything, you can list that down, right? And then number three, you want to start looking at exactly what you're spending on. Why it is? Can you refine it any bit? Is there a possibility that you're doing something for another person? Or can you confirm with yourself that, you know what, I know exactly what I want and how I'm going to expend my money? And I'll check out these for a second, these nice silk scarves. By the way, admittedly, silk isn't vegan, but it's my intent to create some type of a koshering process that humanely kills whatever the creatures involved are, so that way we can enjoy products like, you know, wool and leather products, and be ensured that there's no harm to the animals being done. Me, for example, I'm styling out, but as far as spending money goes, I think it's important to realize that it's not about how much is spent, but rather how smartly it's spent. And there might be special cases where you have to, you know, wear, for example, a real Rolex watch or a real jewelry item in order for your dreams or to give the right impression. But oftentimes, whether it's clothing or even cars are something that people spend on that has a great depreciation. You know, a car is an experience of sitting comfortably, listening to music, people giving you attention if you have a nice, luxurious car. And you can do all those things. You can dance on a street corner and get more attention. You can, you know, the car is kind of kind of tricks the ego into thinking like, oh, and by the way, you know, it's okay to be conscious of that. Oh, I'm getting attention from other people from this. Like realize there are many sources, right, of getting your satisfactions, and like I said, but everyone has their thing. Like me, obviously, I'm into style. Some people are into vacations, like I was describing earlier. And if you are, you have to, number 4, you have to recognize that there are lots of tricks you can do in order to minimize spending in other areas. So, for example, you can live obviously less costly of a lifestyle and concentrate money in one area. You can eat inexpensively. I have found that eating, okay, like if I'm in the mood for example, some Thai food, I can eat some saimin, which costs 25 cents, and still get the same satisfaction of a nice Asian saltier food craving. And then the point being that it's not about, even though it's not the same thing as Thai food, for example, here's the point. The point is functionality. After I'm done eating the saimin, after I'm done, quote unquote, with self-intimacy, jerking off, then I don't want the Thai food. Then I don't want to be with the quote unquote woman. Okay? And speaking of women being on this subject, in recent pop culture, there's this emphasis on things like bigger pee-pee for a man or bigger breasts for a woman, and I just think that those people's personal lives, it's not, don't be offended by, it's great that people have all types of variety of things, and everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, and we can improve, as a society. Also know what you want in that sense. This is not related to the issue of monetary expenditure, but in a way it can be, because you invest in things you want. You might invest in people. You might invest, right? You might invest in persons. And the reality is there's so much to choose out there, and it's not about what people have, like envying their body or their money or anything, but instead, guess what? It's about what attracts me to people, and I think this is a more sophisticated thing, is a person's persona, how they, their kind of their demeanor, their body language, their what their preferences are. And I'll prefer someone that I might find another person more physically attractive, but I'll prefer that other person because of their persona. So that is, there's lots of things to consider, obviously. I want to stay on track, though. I want to stay on track of the money. My conclusion there, by the way, however, is that I think there should be an emphasis on the woman's VV, and I'll conclude with that. Focus on the woman's body, and not other things. Okay. But the point being, money. So number 6, the idea of who's got more money, or how do I make money, or how much should I earn, how much do I deserve, how much should I charge, what should I do, what type of career, all those questions encompass the idea of purpose. But do they really? You got to think about that for a second. You may want to make money doing something you don't necessarily like, but see, that's the brilliance of capitalism. It allows people to work with each other and towards products and concepts, but they're not actually their personal preference. So, for example, a lawn care service might mow the lawn of, churches, although they themselves are not, affiliates of that church. Just as an example. Or me, I might clean restaurants, although some of them might not be vegan, for example. But the point is we have this whole scenario going on in capitalist society. It's just nice. It brings people together. It encourages them to appreciate each other's differences and value that. Want people to have freedom of expression. And in effect, it be where they so back to this issue, you can study online, how much people should earn in your field, all these things, how much, whatever products, price, demand, blah blah blah. But the most important thing is after you meet your basic needs, which is, a pretty low amount of money relative to people can make a lot, lots of money, but guess what? Once you meet your basic needs, right, something magic happens. You enter, especially in this day and age, you don't need to spend much money advertising and all this stuff, because on the internet you can use the internet to share ideas, concepts, and in turn those concepts have become a reality, which may obviously has a lot of production costs, but possibly goods or services, but just coming up with ideas and sharing them, and then maybe other people can use them. See what I mean? That's going to give you a sense of purpose in your life. In addition to maybe simple things, like you don't have to feel like if you attach, I have to have this brand new Porsche in order to feel good. You're setting a high cost on your happiness. But if you attach it to just being friendly, being creative, being kind in society, then you're gonna, and maybe even like dressing. I dress up. I have a quite a limited budget, but guess what? And I'm only doing that for referential purposes. Generally, I discourage people to even be discussing personal things, private things like their financial status, what have you. But more importantly, not feel bad about it. Like right away when you see people, don't envy them, don't feel bad for them. Look at them in a kind way. They may be resistant, but look at people and feel good for them. Feel good for them for having wealth. Feel good for them for having a nice body, whatever, a nice house. Look right at people. Look at them in their house, whatever it is. And then I'm gonna reach a conclusion right here. It's at this point I've already gone through a lot. I'm gonna say this about wealth and money, and that is that it's not about what money is. It's about what makes money. What makes money is resourcefulness, creative endeavors, responsibility, financial. Speaking of financial, here we go. Financial. Look at this marble, man. Look at his finances right here. Yeah. Financial savviness. These are the things that are backing of money. Industriousness. All right. So before you think of anything, you can research online top 20 ways to make money and all of that. But how about take it a step further, and that is know and understand, be aware of it, but nonetheless know who you are and know what you're worth, know what your dreams are. Don't sell them out. Don't, if you need to do something in order to, you got to say no to some people, say no to some wealthy job, and in order to say yes to your dreams, then do it. All right, you don't necessarily need the quote-unquote luxuries and amenities and riches of life, but what you do need, I would argue, is to be yourself. And you can find just as much satisfaction as buying a $2,000 duffel bag as buying a soda, if that's what your financial options are. And accomplishing a goal, taking steps towards your business. And remember, you don't need money to do that. What you need is you don't even need connections. You just need that creative energy, and then of course advertise into it, talking to people about, and then people get inspired, just like the people hugging up there. People connect. And remember, money can't buy certain things. And there's a video, in fact, there's two people I want to recommend on YouTube. One of them being, what's the guy's name? Well, one of them is, I'm trying to remember here. All right, let's do a deep breathing, relaxing while we're remembering, quote unquote. Oh, look at these, lovely. It's just nice here. It's so nice. Look at that. You know, we have a channel on YouTube called Alux, A-L-U-X, and then we have a guy named Patrick Bet-David, and there's other people I encourage, give advice, but basically, you have you know, you have options out there worth investigating. So make it happen.